So, just for the record, I wanted to go into our finale here tonight completely unscripted. I really wanted to have a fluid and dynamic and open-ended conversation as we head into the end here. And most importantly, I wanted to come into the end of Red Dead much the same way that I played most of it, completely blind and not really knowing what to expect. Truthfully, we've already seen the end of Red Dead Redemption 2, or the vast and most important part of it, chronicling Arthur Morgan. But of course, we've had the pleasure of reacquainting ourselves with John Marston as our #1 playable character here in the Red Dead 2 epilogue. We're obviously here in part 2 of the epilogue. We've only got about 2 main story missions left, and this is going to be the last part that I upload for this series. Now, I wanted to take a second and talk about the series that we've done here with Red Dead 2 a little bit before we immediately jump into things here. But first and foremost, me sipping my coffee. It's great. Nescafe Gold. It's awesome. Anyways, enough with the product placements, the impromptu product placements. The first video of Red Dead 2 that I uploaded to this channel was on May 26th, 2019, more than a year ago, and it was titled, Red Dead 2 PS4 Premiere. That video garnered has to this point, to the point of me making this finale here, has garnered 28 views. By most people's standards, that's not a lot, but it started something for me and for this channel that, I have never seen before. Coming into this series, we had just finished Half-Life 2 and The Last of Us remastered on the PlayStation, and really no Let's Play series had really taken off for me at a community level up until Red Dead 2. 94 parts later, I have now garnered more than 1,000 views across all the videos on my channel, much thanks to the views that I've been able to obtain through Red Dead 2. I've had more community involvement and interaction than I've had with any other series so far, and I hope that this series, this particular Let's Play series, really I hope it lays a foundation for any of my Let's Play series going forward. I feel like I've learned a lot through doing Red Dead. It's been a grind at times, and it's been an outright blast at others. It's been a unique experience and one video game playing experience that, frankly, I will never forget. It's been one hell of an adventure. This was not a 100% run-through of the game. I made it very clear from the beginning that we were not going to be doing a 100% run-through of the game, but I did want to try and do as much as I possibly could, and I feel happy about what we were able to accomplish. So many of the side missions, stranger missions, we did a couple of the long collection quests. We did a number of legendary animals and fish. We, I think, did a great job of maintaining relationships with those around us, both in camp and now here in the epilogue with John Marston. I honestly feel like I'm a different player now at this point in Red Dead 2 than I was at the beginning of Red Dead 2. I feel like coming into this game I was so uninformed compared to the place that I am now, but I think that's part of playing Red Dead 2, and I feel like if I were to go back and replay this game again, finish right now, and then completely start all over again, I feel like it would be a much different experience for me. Simply just because I know more about what needs to be done. This is an extremely complex game. There's a lot that has to be balanced out here. Really, I classify this game as a Western simulation. I mean, really, if Red Dead 2 is not considered a simulation game, I don't know what is. Maybe, you could argue that point a little bit, but there's so many areas of this game that scream simulation. It's crazy. A lot of my time, a lot of focus went into this. I'm honestly kind of sad that we are winding things down and bringing Red Dead 2 to an end here. But all good things must come to an end, as some famous guy once said. This is Sweetfish Plays, and this is our Red Dead Redemption 2 finale. when you play a game like Red Dead 2 and you burn as much time as you know we have with this Let's Play here, my estimate is probably it's well over 150 hours. I'm sure of that across our 94 videos. You'd have to just add up all the time. I didn't go so far as doing that, but we've spent a lot of time here, and you start to feel like you know the characters. I feel like I've, you know, grown a relationship with both Arthur and John Marston, or I guess reacquainted myself with John Marston because we already played a big, long, open world game with him. We have been, I'd like to think, to most unique locations across the map. We've done everything from doing every single bounty poster across the map to, you know, just recently we did a treasure map. So I feel like we've been able to see a good portion of the game. I'm happy with what we've seen. That's an understatement because we've done a lot. Finishing here in the epilogue itself has been almost a completely different experience from the main game with Arthur. It's definitely had a uniqueness to it. But it's been my pleasure to do this playthrough with you. I honestly could not have done it without the fan involvement. I don't know if I would have been able to grind through to the end of a game like this, but I'm extremely proud. This is longer than any Let's Play I've ever done. Grand Theft Auto 5 was the previous one. That's not up on YouTube. That was a Twitch exclusive series that I did. It's no longer up on my account, unfortunately. That had previously been the longest, though, at over 70 videos, I think we clocked, maybe even 80. And now Red Dead 2 gets to take the cake here. So we basically have only a couple of story missions left. I think they both launched through Abigail here back at Beecher's Hope. Last time, all we basically did was we killed a little bit more time so that we could see out the end of our Evelyn Miller Stranger mission. We actually got a conclusion to the ties that bind us as well with Mr. Black and Mr. White, which I thought was quite fitting. We've waited a long time for that conclusion. If you've been following along the whole way, you'd know. So, yeah, it was all about just kind of tying up whatever loose ends we had left. We journeyed across the map one final time about 10 or 15 parts ago. We saw all the graves of our fallen foes. And we spent a good portion of that time kind of reflecting back at different points throughout the game. You know, like I said, I'm hoping that throughout this part, I'll be able to have an open-ended discussion and share some of my thoughts and feelings, especially during the credits. And we'll kind of bring everything together here. So there's not really any side stuff that we still have left to do here. Basically, we just have to go back to Beecher's Hope with Abigail and see things through here. And I've talked about how I feel like a different player and how I've learned and grown so much throughout this game, much like we've seen Arthur and John grow. One area that I really struggled with early on was just the simple survival aspect of the game, and for most of the game I struggled so much with my weight in particular, and unfortunately going into the end here where we still have not got our current character John Marston back up to like a fit weight, but that's okay because I feel like most areas of the game we've made significant inroads just by learning, by kind of trial and error, and just getting to know the game, and also a lot of hints from fans like you that watch along and submit little tips to me that have helped me so much along the way.
Take more than that to hurt you.
This is my playthrough as much as it is yours. That's what I definitely want to emphasize here.
You're gonna be mighty handsome.
Now, if you've tuned in and you've missed the last few vids or whatever, and you're just coming to check out the finale at this point, first of all, I highly recommend you go to check out at least maybe the last 5 or 10 videos that we've shot, just to see how we've kind of got here to the end finally. You'll see a good mix of side content and main story stuff. by browsing through my vids. But if you're like, oh man, I really wanted him to go do this before he finished his stream, you know, if I have enough requests to go back and cover, you know, some content that, you know, you might want to see, I don't mind doing it. I think we're going to be allowed to free roam the map once we hit our conclusion here. That's what I'm expecting anyways. So I feel like we've gotten closure with most things that we've needed to in this game. I don't think that there's anything still kind of outstanding on the back burner for us, other than really the only thing that we're leaving are these tasks, these log missions, as I always called them. You can see there's some treasure maps associated here, the legendary fish, animals, the dinosaur bone collectibles. Those are really all a lot of long, kind of tedious collection quests, something that I'm typically not into doing with my playthroughs anyways. So that's really the only thing that we're leaving at this point here. Like I said, we've already found closure with a lot of the towns and stuff that we visited. We took one last opportunity to visit a lot of them and run into some old friends like Pearson and Rhodes. And then the Graves as well was a great form of closure for us. I'm not really sure if I should be going into this expecting things to like end with a bang and like be shocked, or if, you know, if I'm gonna be underwhelmed by the end of this. But I'd be surprised if it doesn't end with a bang, simply because the epilogue in itself has really stretched out quite a bit, so I feel like it's all really leading up to something. Would they really give us this much time with John if it wasn't all gonna lead to something? They're obviously developing some sort of a backstory here, so that's how I kind of feel about it. So we're just, this is actually the first time that we've been back home in a while. We've been out on the road. We've spent a lot of time in New Austin the last couple of days, kind of just staying in saloons.
No, you be quiet.
I'm having a moment of repose.
Well, you should be working.
Oh, I've done my work.
Not how I heard it.
You should be grateful.
I'll be grateful when you get off your behind.
Oh,
Do yourself.
oh, myself.
I think we've recently eaten and done that kind of stuff, so we actually don't really need to do too much of that off the bat. Oh, it's Rufus. Hey, buddy.
Hey, whatever your name was.
It's Rufus, John. Hey, buddy. This, of course, is Jack's dog. Potentially one of the last times. Oh,
Rufus
hey,
boy.
buddy. That we get to see little old Rufus. You can hear Abigail fighting with Uncle just inside. No surprise there. What are they fighting about? Uncle not getting any work done. Are we surprised though, really? I was just trying to have a little waltz around here, see if I could find Charles or Uncle around here anywhere, and just kind of touch base with him, but it doesn't look like there's anybody around right now. It's 6:30 p.m., so they're probably inside getting dinner or something like that. We'll head in. Can probably head in through the back door here.
I'll tell you what, woman, was a damn sight more peaceful around here before you came back.
You're just lucky I'm a soft touch. I should sling you out by your ear.
Ah, you always was a cold-hearted lizard of a woman.
And you always was someone willing to live off the efforts of others. It's walk or work, old man.
I got lumbago.
You'll have more than that in a minute.
Oh, John, tell her about my health.
Do what the lady
I
says.
worked my fingers to the bone building this place, Abigail Roberts.
Marston! Abigail Marston. Miss Marston to you.
Miss Marston to you.
Why you let him stay?
He's actually been pretty useful, in a useless sort of way.
Who's that?
No idea.
Friend or foe?
We'll soon find out. It's the Geddes boys.
From Pronghorn Ranch?
Yeah.
Mr. Milton! Mr. Milton!
Duncan!
Sir, Ma found some old furniture in the attic. Pa thought maybe you folks would want it as a housewarming present, you know? They send their regards.
How kind they are. Tell your mom and pa we're very touched.
Where would you like the furniture?
Just over here. Then we can arrange. This is real kind of y'all.
You saved the ranch. Pa said this is the least he could do.
Well, that's about everything.
Send your pa my best regards. Tell him he's got friends for life in me and my family.
Bye, sir. Ma'am.
I can't believe this. It's so kind.
Sure. But there's still some more things that we need to get.
How about we take a ride into town? It's been ages since we spent any time together.
It has. Let's go get the wagon.
Okay, let's go. I feel like we ain't done nothing together like this since
Since forever?
maybe not forever, but a long time.
We ain't had the time, you know? We've both been working hard.
And now we got something to show for it. The ranch, this life. It's so nice, John.
I hope it'll only get nicer. May I help you, my lady?
Oh, John.
And now to Blackwater.
So I think that this is a really important mission, just for Abigail and John to have a little bit of one-on-one bonding time. We saw recently John get that opportunity with his son Jack when they went fishing together just up by the Upper Montana River, which is very close to where John currently resides, just to the north there. So it's important for Abigail to have this same kind of bonding time with John. It's been a while, and, you know, as much as they're back together now and she's brought Jack back with her, I still feel like they're walking on eggshells a little bit. John's walking on eggshells, she's walking on eggshells. There's still a little bit of intensity to their relationship for sure. So this is good to see them have this opportunity, no doubt. And what a touching thing for the Geddes boys to do, to come bring John and Abigail some brand new furniture to liven up Beatrice Hope a little bit. Mr. Geddes was really a life changer in the course of events in John Marston's life. He really changed the game for John, real game changer, allowing John to work at Pronghorn Ranch despite being under suspicion that he was using a false name, which obviously with Jim Milton he was, and then to allow him to work there for as long as he did, and then we end up saving Pronghorn Ranch. Mr. Geddes is a really, really good guy. I like him, and that was very nice of his boys to come bring us those housewarming gifts.
Is there anything you want to do?
You said there were some things we still needed.
We can buy them from that catalog. Let's go have some fun.
I know your idea of fun, John Marston.
I ain't had a drink and, well, I left those things behind me. No, I mean, good, wholesome fun. Like, decent folk have.
We decent now?
I guess.
Well, decent or not, I still got some errands to run.
That's fun.
What would you like to do?
Maybe get our portrait took, for starters?
Portrait?
There's a fella in town takes photographs.
You want to stare at a portrait of yourself all day long? I hate to break it to you, but you ain't that much to look at.
No, I want a picture of us. Me and you. Okay?
Okay, then. Sure. Is there anything else you want?
I don't know. Let's just walk around and see where it takes us.
I do have to be back by dinner time.
Uncle Jack and Charles will manage fine without you. Hell, looking after themselves may even be good for them.
They'll starve.
And that may be good for them, too. With any luck, Jack and Charles will eat Uncle.
Don't get my hopes up. So maybe
That's
you're right.
awful.
We'll stay.
You know I am.
Okay, then. Portrait it is.
By dinner time, yeah, I think we're already past dinner time here, unless she has dinner time at like 10 o'clock. What are you smoking there, hon? No, this is what I mean. They're laughing together, smiling together. They're actually sitting next to each other for a a hot minute, which is good. Of course, Abigail's just being a mother, though. She wants to get back and, you know, take care of Jack, and she's just being a good mom. John is right, though. Charles and Uncle can handle their shit together. Come on. They can take care of things for a few hours while we have some fun in town. I have a funny feeling, though, we might come across a face here that will sour the mood a little bit. I just have a funny feeling things are not going to end up all peachy here. So this is Blackwater. There's a couple horses up there. I don't know what's going on there. I thought those two guys were for sure gonna try and follow me. We're good. So it's just up here. It looks like John is taking her to the saloon. He also suggested that we go to the photo studio, which is actually a place that we have checked out before here in Blackwater, where we kind of messed with different portrait shots and stuff like that you can get done with your character, different poses, different backgrounds, etc. And I knew that John wanted to go there not so much for the fun, but for the memento to have a picture of him and his wife.
I'll just put us here. Let me help you down.
Why are you being so courteous?
I don't know. There you go.
I'm gonna head to the Drapers for a minute. Won't take long, but I need to get some materials. You wanna come with me or wait here?
And after that, we can go get our photo taken?
Yeah, after that, we can get our photo taken. All right, let's get that picture taken. It means that much to you.
It does. Today it does.
Oh my god.
You're
Did
acting
y'all
kind of
just see
funny.
that?
I am kind of funny.
Oh no.
You're kind of funny.
Am I annoying you?
No. I like this version of you. It just ain't you.
Well, maybe I've changed.
Finally?
I don't know. Probably not.
Come along with you.
We all know what's about to go down inside this photo studio.
I'm following you. Photographer's right there.
Oh man.
Hello, madam. Sir.
Hello, sir.
How can I help you?
We'd like to get our photo taken.
Oh, photo. Yes, that I can help you with. Yes.
So, what do we do?
I'm sorry, what did you want?
Our portrait taken.
Oh, well, we do that. Yes, wonderful. Handsome couple, quite something, but you need a background.
Background?
Yes, we have Niagara Falls.
Done.
Paris by night. We have Mount Vesuvius and its ruins. We have the open prairie. Take a look. Pick one.
If we get to choose the falls, I'm definitely going with the falls.
Let's see the others.
Just pull the lever there to release the next one. It's a
All
weighted
right.
system, you see. Pulleys, like at
Ooh.
the theater. We
Ooh.
have quite a number to choose from.
Ooh. So there's different backdrops. We kind of messed with this a little bit last time we were here.
It's dramatic, ain't it? Let's see what else they got.
Let's see how Abigail reacts to them too. Maybe
tried
there's one in
pulling that
particular
thing
she'll
yet?
really like.
This is pretty.
Or spooky, maybe. Let's see everything.
That's nice.
It's like being back home. Was that all of them?
No, babe, I think there is one more.
This is, this is a bar.
Surely
Yes.
there's a photograph of you in a bar already. Look, this was your idea, John. It's up to you.
You've seen all of them. Anything you like?
I really like the falls, and she did say that the falls was nice, but that she just wanted
Time
to
choose John.
go through all of the options. So we're gonna use Niagara Falls as our backdrop for our wedding just a regular photograph. I didn't see a proposal coming as part of our finale, but it's putting a big old smile on my face. I just like John Marston as a character. How can you not like John Marston as a character? And I just want the best for him, and he wants Abigail, so it's a really cool thing to see.
We can take it.
Ah, this one.
Wonderful. That will be simply perfect. You know, I wish I had the Congo River, but they require grass skirts. I couldn't afford them. It's just so exotic. You stay there. Make a pose that you feel comfortable with.
Well, this is dignified.
Yeah.
Try to enjoy it.
I think I'd rather be cleaning the outhouse.
Quiet.
Thought you were a cowboy. A poser.
Oh, no. I'm a poser. I learned from the best.
That is true.
What do you think? Are we getting less awkward? Let's try a different pose.
That might be the one.
Yeah, that's definitely a little less awkward.
Lovely.
Yeah, no. That's a little, I don't know, a little cordial. Is that the right word?
Wonderful.
No, that's like straight out of one of those creepy pictures from the 1860s.
Can we do this, John?
Where it's actually dead people.
Oh, I like it.
We are gonna make them suffer through every single pose. You better believe it. How about
You've
both
done this
seated?
before.
You've done this before. Yeah, we are the posers.
Very good.
All right. No, I like that one that we were standing really close to each other and like holding hands. So I think we're back at the
Quite a
beginning now.
pose.
Yeah, we're back at the beginning now. Thank God we don't have to
think
cycle
you've
back
covered
through all the poses.
permutations. Is
Yeah,
there
I think
a
we
pose
have.
you were happy with?
Yeah, the second pose was probably my favorite. I don't know if I could pull you, I would, but I mean, we can preview the photo. That's all right.
If you want.
Feel free to use the chairs if you want. The only thing that looks kind of awkward about this is the chairs in the background. I think this shot with Niagara Falls in the back would look better without the chairs, but I don't think we can get too picky here, so.
Feel free to change your pose.
How's this?
Bravo!
Still the most awkward picture ever taken.
Now, give me a minute. I'm going to develop this for you. Wait here.
Take your time. What?
Nothing. Nothing at all. Tough guy. Gunslinger.
Excuse me?
Nothing. I didn't say anything. I just posed.
Shut up. You know, you're not very nice to me.
Oh, I'm nicer than you deserve.
True.
Here. Came out beautifully.
Sure. Yeah.
Oh, look at that face on you.
Be quiet. What do I owe you?
$5.
Here you go.
Thank you. I'll see you again.
Oh, yes. He'll probably come in for a pose. He seemed to enjoy himself. Bye now.
What shall we do now?
There is one thing I hadn't done. I've never been to see one of them moving picture shows.
Never?
No.
Well, come on. Let's go do that.
You sure?
Of course. It's the marvel of the age.
I love marvels.
Okay, good. Well, let's go.
Thank you. It's real fine doing normal things.
$5 for one photograph is a lot of money in that time, is it not? It seems for like one print of a photograph, but obviously that's like a very professional photo studio. You know, two people are perfect for each other when they can just bicker all day like that, and they still love each other. Yeah, the bickering is part of what makes them love each other, I guess. John in there going, "You're not very nice to me." All right, she wants to go to the theater. It's actually something that we've gone to the theater a few times throughout the game here. I just wanted us to actually see the final product. We saw the preview of the photo, but that's the final photograph right there. Obviously, photos that you take in-game with the camera that you carry around or at a photo studio can be viewed through the social club under the menu, and then by going to the photo area just on the left bar here where they have feed and photos. This is Rockstar's social club, so you can get like feed for like updates online and stuff like that, and then this is where they keep all the photos. So you'll see all of the photos that we have taken in the past appear here as well, from that murder stranger mission that we went on and everything else. Ew, those are some gruesome pictures to go back and look at. Yuck. Yeah, we're quite familiar with the theater. I think this one in Blackwater we've only been to here once before, but we did check it out. Maybe it'll be a new show. Maybe it'll be something fresh for us here.
Come on, John. I'm excited to see it now.
To be honest with you, Abigail, I can't remember what street it's on. Okay, it's just down the street here.
The picture house is just there.
Yeah, actually, it is really close by here. Another thing, too, is I can't imagine throughout much of John and Abigail's relationship, I can't imagine they've had the opportunity to really hang out like this, really one-on-one together that often. Like, and same with the photo studio. Like, how many times do you think John and Abigail actually took the time to go to a photo studio? I bet you they've never even taken a picture of each other, like, together, just hanging out like that and having a good time. So, this is good. You know, the epilogue kind of started in part one with Abigail and John really at a standstill in their relationship, at a stalemate, so much so that Abigail ends up leaving John and his lifestyle behind. But then slowly through part two of the epilogue, you're back on the incline again, and you work yourself back up to peak again. So it's cool because we got to see a lot of ups and downs with Arthur Morgan, and then the epilogue was long enough to actually kind of see ups and downs with John Marston as well.
Come in.
Thank you. What's playing?
Something called Sketching for Sweetheart, I think.
Oh, hello.
2 tickets, please, to see Sketching for Sweetheart.
That'll be 50 cents, please.
Okay. What's it about?
I have no idea.
Great. Sounds like a great show.
Thank you again.
Come on in. A mystery awaits.
I think this might be a different production than the one we saw last time. Looks like it. Hell of a lot cheaper than that photo, though. 50 cents.
Isn't it incredible? It's like they're really there.
Once you've seen one of these things,
What are you doing with that arm?
I thought you might be cold.
John.
Yeah, shh, we're in a movie. I'm trying to work my magic here.
That's women for you.
Don't you dare, John Marston.
What? I'm watching.
Please.
Looks so real.
It's not.
Don't be such a sourpuss.
Oh, we're gonna piss someone off in the theater here for sure.
Stop it.
She's a piece of work.
Really?
Damn, she's robbing him.
Oh my. Is it over?
I think so. Come on.
Jeez, there was an option there mid-movie to put my arm around Abigail.
Be
You
seeing you.
think I wouldn't do that?
We better get home.
We never get out. The farm will be fine.
Farm. I love hearing that.
Let's go down to the lake for a minute.
The lake?
Sure.
Why, you finally gonna drown yourself?
In a manner of speaking, I guess I am. Happily so.
You're acting real strange.
No, I'm not. Come on.
The irony of that statement, if only Abigail
You're a
knew.
silly man, John Marston.
What about Jim Milton?
Oh, he's even worse.
Let me help you in.
Like I said, mighty strange.
I like to row.
Since when? You can hardly swim.
I don't plan on capsizing.
I wonder whose boat this is.
It don't matter. We'll have it back.
I hope they don't think we're...
They won't think anything. Don't think. We're borrowing it.
I hope it don't got leaks or nothing.
She's seaworthy, okay? Relax. Look around.
All I can see is a strange man rowing. I thought he was John Marston, but now I suspect he's been replaced with an imposter.
Here's good. Ain't it pretty?
What is it?
I guess there's no time like the present, is there? What a beautiful proposal
What are
spot
you
for John
asking?
Marston. Kudos to him. This is like the dream right here.
You... Will you marry me?
Get up. I am married to you.
No, I mean proper. In front of God.
You serious?
I got this ring. I've had it for a long time. Take it.
You serious?
It would make me very happy if you would...
We've lived a lot of lives.
Let's just live this one from now on. You and me, Jack, a family, by law.
John, I didn't know it mattered to you.
It didn't. But now it does. If you think this is dumb, I'm sorry.
Shut up, you silly man, and kiss me.
Hey! Looks like John Marston's got a soft spot after all, folks. All this time we thought he was this gunslinging maniac. Turns out he knows how to put on a good show for a lady. feels like all the days that we've spent with Arthur Morgan and John Marston have all happened in real time. And it's crazy because every sentence that passes by, every subtitle that comes up, I'm just like eagerly anticipating the end game here. I think we have one more mission left here. I just thought this was a great place to just sit for a second and take everything in. Believe it or not, in the short time we've had with John, we've almost got his honor at max as well, which is where we ended up with Arthur Morgan. It doesn't really matter to me that it be maxed out, just that, you know, we kind of focus on keeping it in a high place. This is John Marston's land now, and we are coming closer and closer to start game from the first Red Dead Redemption. I don't think we'll be taken quite back to that point, obviously, but it's been a hell of an adventure, and it's sadly about to come to an end. Just gonna head back to the property now. So the last mission again launched through Abigail Roberts back at Beecher's Hope. I really wish I had finished the game with Clutch as my main horse. We had to go back and get Thief from the stable because Clutch died in one of the last couple videos, which is pretty sad. We've lost so many horses throughout the game. Another area to reflect upon all those that served us. I would try and list them, but then I feel like I'd probably leave a horse or two out, and then I'd feel really bad that I just forgot one of my horses. But we had a lot. We had a handful throughout the game for sure. Abigail seemed genuinely happy for the first time in a while. And Christ, I'm glad that she said yes and didn't break John's heart. Good Lord. The epilogue has definitely been a good debriefing. I think I've mentioned this before, from the main game. I mean, we've definitely had our fair share of shootouts and, you know, sketchy scenarios and circumstances, no doubt. But we were really in a sticky situation, especially towards the end of the game with Arthur. It just felt like constant impending doom. And everything that we've done with John has been like a breath of fresh air and has felt like a step in the right direction. It felt like we were almost drowning with Arthur, that it didn't matter what I did, I was not going to be able to bail Arthur and the gang out from Dutch's quote-unquote grand plan. With John, it's felt the opposite, though. It's felt like the more that I've worked, the more missions that I've done across the board in every area, the further and further away we've got from drowning. You know, the more and more on our feet we've got. So, much needed debrief. So there haven't been chores to do around camp here in a jeez. There haven't been chores to complete around the ranch here in a couple days because we just recently did some chores around here. It appears that the chores have respawned, so I'm just gonna go ahead and do those. I think it'll raise my honor a bit, and maybe I'll have the chance to actually max it out before we go into this this final mission here. It's also extra special because of, you know, we spent so much time with Arthur, and all he wanted was, you know, especially towards the end of his life, was for John to be able to live and have a happy and successful life with the love of his life, Abigail. So I feel almost in part by doing all this work with John and by being so, you know, emotionally involved and attached that, you know, we're just seeing through Arthur's kind of final wishes, which I think is important. It makes doing the epilogue with John that much more special, and it gives playing the whole first game that much more meaning. You know, we got to know John Marston in the first Red Dead, but now we really know John Marston. We really know his background and the background of the Van der Linde gang. John really has a lot to thank Arthur for. He wouldn't have this ranch and his wife and his child with him and everything going so well if it wasn't for Arthur sacrificing things for him there at the end. So for the first time in a long time in this game, it feels like there's actually a shred of positivity. It didn't always feel like that throughout the entire game. It didn't always feel claustrophobic per se, with this like impending doom. But the further and further we got along in the game, the more and more that kind of tightness in your chest feeling got. That more kind of closed in, the more that feeling became prominent. There's really only one more thing that could possibly make me feel any better about where things are going and how things went, and that would be us having the opportunity to kill Micah. Dutch plays a big role in the original Red Dead, so, you know, obviously he's long gone. We won't see him for a while. But I just have an itching to kill this Micah fool. God, how many times in the game did we talk about how awful Micah is as a character and go over all the awful things that Micah did and put Arthur through and the rest of the gang through? Leaves Arthur for dead at the end. Karma's got to come to him at some point, and I hope it's right in this next mission. I don't know if we have like a description for this Abigail mission. If I lose my index check, it'll probably come up. All it says is check in on your family, and the name of the mission is American Venom. I'm pretty sure that is indeed the final mission of the game, if I remember the mission list correctly. I really haven't been home the last couple days, other than that last evening that we just spent with Abigail, which was important, and that little bit of time that we spent with Jack. Like I said, I've been out exploring and tying up loose ends. So Charles and Uncle have been taking care of a lot of work around here, so I think it's important for me to finish up any chores before we go end game here. I know you might think it's a little extra of me, but like I said, simulation game. 2 words. Simulation game. Period. Comma. What? This is your Red Dead 2 finale here on Sweetfish Plays Part 94. We got just one mission left. Just finishing up some chores around Beatrice Hope. Spending the day the way a man should spend the day. It's a shame that we couldn't have been, that Arthur was not surrounded by more friendly faces at the end of the game. That's one thing that really kills me the most, is that he had to die alone. The only person close by was Micah, the guy that, you know, everyone despises the most. So that's kind of a herder. There were so many characters that I really adored throughout the game. Lenny and Sadie's obviously still with us, of course. There was a lot of stranger characters like Marco Dragic and Hamish Sinclair that we had a really respectful relationship with. So that's the end of that chore. I don't think there's too many things that need a doing. We gotta clean some more stalls here real quick. Someone's got to do the dirty work, am I right? I think we got one more pile here, yeah. Oh, that's my favorite part. Oh yeah, I always forgot. Once you're done cleaning those stables, the best hidden minigame in Red Dead 2 unlocks. Milking the cow. There's nothing quite like it. It's an experience that I cherish wholeheartedly every time. Watching every last drop of milk spray from the cow's beautiful udder. It's truly a life-changing experience. I've actually handled a cow's udder before, and it's as uncomfortable as it might look, really. Every farmer watching this right now, which is none, but every farmer watching this right now is like, what a wuss. Except they're probably using another much more filthy term. Oh, looks like our milking cow duties are currently locked. That cow has been exhausted of all its milk. And we move onwards and forwards. I had to say that. It's the last Red Dead 2 stream. I had to say onwards and forwards. Don't shoot the messenger. Oh great, 4 piles of hay that have to be dragged somewhere. Standing on top of the hay bales is not going to get anything done, John. Quit being such a child. It's almost been like Red Dead 2. It's almost like the subtitle could be like Red Dead 2: The Death of Arthur and the Birth of John. Because this game almost follows that to a T. It's like you watch the slow demise and deterioration of a gang and Arthur Morgan and how he's dragged through all of that. And then you watch John start to kick ass and figure out life, and it's like the complete opposite. Can you stop trying to hop on the damn hay bales, John? Like it's some sort of a homemade jungle gym or something like that. Can you imagine cancel chore? John's just like, you know what? I'm just gonna drop this right here. Screw it. I've worked hard enough today. God dang, this dog follows me around a lot. You can see that we're getting a little bit of honor. Oh, I was going to try and mount the horse to make it easier to ride back and forth with to get back to the hay bales, but apparently it's Uncle's horse, and apparently I'm not allowed to touch Uncle's horse. Oh, apparently I can milk the cow again. The chores around here, they never end. I remember being so hopeful in this game that things would pan out for Arthur, and trying to convince myself that things wouldn't turn out the way that they did, and somehow Arthur would find a way to make it through and like escape somewhere or something like that. And then of course you play like the last third of the game, and like any hope you had of that gets shot down around every corner. Around every turn. Some of my favorite moments, and the moments that really got me into the game, I remember when we were first riding down south for the first time, heading towards the Saint-Denis region, just sort of the anticipation of finally getting to the big city. Actually getting to Saint-Denis for the first time was an accomplishment, because you hear so much about it. You know, we were in all of these country settings, these small towns for so long, and then you go to Saint-Denis, and I remember like walking through Saint-Denis the first time, and it just completely blows your mind. Just like the sheer size, the population, all the stuff going on. There's so much depth to this game. There's so many Easter eggs and cool, quirky characters, and you can really stay busy for a long time. And the city just seemed like a treasure trove of endless activities. And sure enough, I think a lot of the more memorable strangers in the game, like Marko Dragic, for example, were all encountered for the first time in Saint-Denis. I mean, the city, of course, most cities are home to the more quirky characters, but I guess that being said, the hick towns can be home to some pretty quirky characters too. I guess it's a bit of a double-edged sword, if you will. This is it, guys, the last hay bale. Praise Jesus. I ain't doing any more work around here for at least another 3 days. Uncle can get his fat ass off the couch. Also, going to Guarma. That it's kind of the equivalent of going to Mexico in the first Red Dead Redemption, because it's like it's a completely different map. It's a completely different environment. That was a pretty unique part of the game as well. It almost feels like a DLC. Because it's like a whole different, you know, the story kind of takes a really crazy turn at that point. That was also a really memorable point in the game for me. And also really early on in the game, going into, I guess, Valentine for one of the first times. I think one of the first missions that you do when you set up your camp on Horseshoe Overlook way back in the beginning of the game is you ride into the closest town to Valentine with a bunch of people from the gang. Lenny, Mary Beth, some of the other ladies. I think Susan and that goes with you. And I just remember me and Lenny having a party at the saloon in Valentine. And in that particular mission, you and him get like interplanetary drunk, and it's just that was such a memorable main story mission. All of the stuff that we did down in Rhodes with the Braithwaites and Greys, and how all of that unfolded with the tobacco fields, and that all seemed like a scene straight out of Django Unchained. I think there was definitely some inspiration there. That was also a really wild sequence of events. And when we had the badge, and we were technically sheriffs of Rhodes with Sheriff Gray and Rhodes, it was that was a pretty wild time. Those were like the heyday. That was the heyday of the Vanderlyn gang for sure. We never got back to a point like that when we were still thriving on some level. I mean, I guess that was we were already starting our well into our downfall by that point, but we definitely felt on top of the world. With John, I've really appreciated working with Sadie. Having Charles and Uncle here, you know, at least we do have some friends. I can't say that we don't have any friendly faces around. We've definitely been lucky in that regard. And now that Abigail and Jack are back, things have all kind of come full circle. But you know, there's lots of people that I enjoyed hanging out with Arthur as well. Anytime we were doing a mission with Sadie again, or John, or Charles, most of the time it was pretty badass. Anytime we were doing a mission with Uncle, or what's his name? Oh, the pastor. I can't remember. Oh. Anytime it was with Uncle or that, it just, you knew it was going to be a mess of a mission. The complete opposite. Anytime you were going out with, like, John or Sadie, you were like, yeah, this is going to be a badass kind of mission. And then you get that mission with Uncle, and it's like, oh boy, here we go. What kind of murders are we going to have to cover up this time? There shouldn't be too many more chores left here. I think there's a couple things that we can get done. There's another little bit of chicken feed that we can carry over to the chicken coop. Oh, that's right. And then the other task is just chopping some firewood. That's a pretty easy job as well. Can't just be all play, no work. We didn't as often, or as often as I don't really remember going out with Dutch all that often. But anytime we did go out with Dutch, it was pretty cool too. But I'm sorry, the further we got along in this game, the more respect I lost for Dutch as well. There was a time when, honestly, with Arthur, like, I considered Dutch kind of an equal, and I thought that, you know, Arthur and Dutch are kind of running the show, and, you know, we had Hosea, and, you know, as much as I despise Leopold Strauss, you know, he was an important part. He was an important part of the Van der Linde gang. It doesn't matter how much you like him or not. He was an integral part of the Van der Linde Association, no doubt. Getting into this chicken coop is always a mission in itself. Should I take a run at it? Hey! I'm supposed to feed the chickens. Oh, Jesus. For some reason, I always think we gotta go inside the chicken coop for that. Duh. You'd think I'd know how to handle myself on a ranch by now. I'm coming, chickens. I'm coming. I got your feed. We should probably close the chicken coop door. This is what happened last time. I was like, we should probably close the door because the last thing I want to do is have a chore where I have to chase after a bunch of chickens. No, oh well. We lost the chicken, but don't tell anybody. As long as we keep it a secret, nobody has to know. Nobody's gonna notice one chicken missing. Christ, it's my ranch, it's my farm anyways. Leave me alone. Alright, so we got a couple boxes of eggs that we have to take over to the crate, and then obviously we have that firewood that we have to cut. We should still be doing okay for time. We've basically spent all day working. That's alright, and then we'll have the evening with Abigail again. Eventually here, after getting all this honor, each one of these little chores that we do slowly increases our honor little bit by little bit. It should push us up to the max fairly soon. I don't want to lose too much daylight here, and the sun is starting to set a little bit, so I'll try and expedite this last box back. You know, you look at the difference between the first Red Dead Redemption and now here with the second Red Dead Redemption. Obviously, light years ahead, this one, of the first one. I mean, you can expect that when there's, you know, a 10-year difference between release dates. It's sad because, you know, like I've said before, you could play this game forever. You know, I could have probably stretched this out to a century's worth of videos. Lord knows there's always more content that can be completed here. We never even touch on Red Dead Online at all. you know, there's always more that you can do. But, you know, a year's worth of time in 94 videos seems like a lot. We've covered a lot. I'm interested to see where Red Dead 3 goes from here. Kind of what direction they decide to take it in. I should probably eat because I don't think I've eaten since we started this stream, and we've done a fair amount of stuff. I have to assume there will be a Red Dead 3. Hopefully, I'll see y'all again for a Red Dead 3 stream in, I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 years. Christ, Lord knows it's going to take about that long. But, you know, John perishes after the first game. Spoiler alert, guess it's a little bit late for that. Arthur, you know, is dead by the end of this game, so it'll be interesting to see kind of what direction they take it in, and what time period it's going to be set in. We've seen a little jumping around between the late 1800s and the early 1900s, between the first Red Dead and the second Red Dead, so you could speculate for days, but nobody truly knows. It's exciting though, because the same leap they made between the first Red Dead and second Red Dead hopefully will happen between the second Red Dead and the third Red Dead, and we'll be left with another masterpiece. If it's even half as engaging as this game, it'll be a fantastic game. I would definitely say this game has been one of my favorite games of all time. Probably not my favorite game of all time, but I would say it would definitely be on a top 15 or top 20 list for me, just because of you know, the depth alone and everything involved, and you know, just it's like almost like an open world sandbox game without being, just because of how many options and choices you have, and how the game plays out. It's definitely been one of the more memorable playing experiences for me, though, especially because I had the opportunity to share it all with you. So we can't actually cut any firewood right now. I guess it's a little bit too late. Maybe time becomes a factor. Working around the ranch is something that's going to happen more during the day anyways, so it was a good way to spend our time, I think, to take a little bit of a breath before we do this.
I love it. I truly love it. Abigail, dear, what's for dinner?
What's for dinner? Away with you, you no-good parasite. You cook.
Actually, that's not a bad idea.
John, come out here.
Hey, John. Abigail.
Sadie.
Charles. I found him. I found Micah.
No.
I got a lead. One of his boys wanted for murdering a woman. Been seen drinking in Strawberry. If we can get to him, he'll lead us to Micah. But I gotta go now. You coming?
No. He's not coming.
I will.
That's your business. His business is here.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll ride with you.
No, I'm begging you. No! You risk all this? For what? For Micah?
All this wouldn't exist if it weren't for Arthur, Sadie, and all the folks as fell. If I let him go, this place ain't no more real than than one of Jack's dragons.
I'm begging you.
And I'm begging you to understand. This is it. This is...
Please.
Please try to... I ain't got no other choice. Keep an eye on the place for me.
Of course.
Please.
Let's go kill this son of a bitch then.
Come on, let's get to Strawberry before he dries out.
Which one of Mike's boys is it?
Cleet,
Which one was Cleet? The big one or the little one?
the one with the rat face.
My memory is they both had rat faces.
The little bastard with the rat face then.
Him? Yeah, he'll talk.
You're damn right he will. We owe this to Arthur.
You think Arthur cared about revenge? I'm not so sure. Especially not at the end.
He cared about stopping Micah, and that's what we're doing.
I hear you're taking bounties now.
And I hear you're building houses.
Mm-hmm. When I'm not killing old friends.
Hell, nowadays I'm almost always killing old friends. Old friends and new. Ain't that right, John?
Seems that way.
You interested in bounty hunting, Charles? My last assistant was put out to pasture.
No, that work ain't for me. I think I might get out of here. Go north. Canada. Find a woman. Start a family, if I can. I see how that life... Well, I'd like to try it.
Ooh-wee, John. You've given him the family bug.
I thought we would have inspired him to a life of celibacy and isolation.
You know, I've been thinking I might get out of here, too. Down South America, maybe? It's wild, but less mean, I guess. I'd run protection for a gold mine, or take up with a handsome revolutionary. I don't know. Something. See something else, at least.
That all sounds good.
Yeah, it all sounds real fine. But we got some business to take care of first. Okay, Strawberry, this is it. We leave our horses by the bridge, then we find him. Okay, John, Charles, you take the other side of the river. I'll stay on this one. If we meet in the middle, we would have covered most of the town.
If he's here, we'll get him.
Okay, let's go.
What? You do as you're told and go and search the other side of the river?
There. Cleet! Hey, Cleet! Been a while.
Shit.
Stop that man! He's wanted for murder!
Hey, stop! I'll head him off!
Can't escape us, Cleet! Ain't no point in trying. Where are you running to?
Leave me alone, damn it!
Hello, Cleet. Remember us? Joe, you gonna take a turn?
Hey, we're old buddies, ain't we?
Sure, Sadie. With pleasure. Now, where's Micah?
Micah, I ain't seen... Stop.
Micah! Where? Tell me! Where's Micah?
I don't know. I ain't seen you. We fell out.
And you know what? I'm bored of this. Let's hang the bastard.
What?
Good idea.
Oh, wait, hold on.
Bring him up to the gallows.
Ah, no, stop it!
Here we go.
John, bring him here.
Ah! Hold on.
Keep moving.
Stop this.
Climb.
I swear.
Move.
Stop. No, you stay away.
You heard the lady. Get up there.
Come here, you bastard. Move it. Come on, move. Here, I want you stood right here.
Stop.
All right, string the no-good murdering bastard up.
Let's try this again. Where's Mike?
No.
Where's Mike?
I already told you I ain't seen him.
You lie.
It ain't my fault. He tried to kill me.
Where's Micah?
Talk, or I'll pull this lever.
Talk.
No. Stop! Wait. He's up in the mountains. I think he's up in Mount Hagen. He got a whole gang now. Bad man, doing bad things. I tried to stop him from murdering that little girl. We fell out. Honest. Please, I'm one of the good guys.
Hang him.
No. Don't do that, John.
He's done.
Thank you.
Well done.
Come on. A little rat said Mount Hagen.
Hey, buddy.
It's a long ride. Let's finish this.
Micah, we're coming for you.
Yeah!
Okay, I just wanted to kind of pause this final mission there and kind of discuss it a little bit and maybe discuss some of the decision making there a little bit as well. So that was a friend of Micah's. I think one of the friends where when we were back with Arthur at camp, he had brought a couple friends in to help Dutch as some extra firepower. I think Cleet is one of those guys, but we know Sadie knew that he, as a bounty hunter, that he was associated with Micah, a friend of Micah's, and of course Cleet led us right there to him. Cleet and Micah and anybody who associates themselves with Micah, I'm sorry, I'm just not going to let them live. We had already kind of forced a scene there in Strawberry. We kind of caused a scene there. There was a lot of onlookers, and it just felt like the right thing to do to hang this man and not let him go. He's just as guilty as Micah or any of those other rat faces, as John put it. It was really tough seeing Abigail beg John before he left Beatrice Hope to chase after Micah. I think that Abigail was just starting to get used to the fact that John might be able to make it as this family man, that maybe his days as a gunslinger are truly over. I think she got a little bit too accustomed to that, especially having taken her out the evening before and showed her a good time for the first time in a long time. But this is something personal that I think needs to be taken care of, because I think if we ran in to Dutch or Micah in the future as John, they would not hesitate to try and kill him. Micah's a dangerous guy. They just said, we've heard he's up in the mountains, and something about killing a little girl. Sounds like Micah to me. Mean man killing innocent little children sounds like something that that Micah would be extremely capable of. So it sounds like we have the right man here. Charles made a good point. Maybe this is not what Arthur Morgan would want us to seek revenge. But I mean, this is John at his core, who he is as a person. And sometimes you just can't change who you are or where you come from. This is instinct for John Marston. And Abigail needs to realize that, you know, they're going to have to compromise and find a good balance between, you know, John maybe being able to do bounty hunting like this on the side a little bit, you know, but still being there as the family man. Abigail needs to be appreciative that, you know, John has really made an effort and really focused on getting things back together. He has this ranch now. You know, he's taking care of Jack and Abigail. He's got a proper roof over their heads. They're not running from town to town anymore. You know, but it's been years, and a lot of this has been boiling over, and Abigail just also needs to realize that this is something that John just has to take care of. This is something that he will be carrying with him for the rest of his life. Arthur means everything to John, and John means everything to Arthur. Arthur set John up for success before he died, and you know, unfortunately, Arthur's death was largely expedited by Micah, and I think John just wants to bring Arthur some peace. And as much as Arthur might try and convince John not to go about revenge in such a way, I can't say Arthur wouldn't necessarily do it himself, for himself. Or if it was the flip side that he wouldn't try and seek revenge for John, I think he absolutely would. I mean, it's a really tough circumstance, but Micah is a real bad character, as is Dutch, and we learned that at the end. And it's just, this is priority. This is something that really needs to get taken care of. I don't think John will ever be able to get proper sleep at night without knowing that, you know, this is seen through. As much as he's, you know, been working towards getting Abigail and Jack back, he's also been working towards, you know, finally settling down from the past. And one way to move forward from that is to exterminate Micah. And, you know, just ignoring the problem of Micah is not enough. You know, he's really not that far away. He's on the same map. It's not like he's gone way up north to Canada or down to Mexico. So we could run into him at any time in the future, and he could be a problem as long as he's alive. So that's why I think it's extremely important, but very hard to see Abigail like that, especially right after doing all of that kind of personal building with her to try and get John and her relationship back to where it was. You know, but this is just something that John has to do. And at least with the legality of it, he's doing it with Sadie. He's not doing it by himself. You know, he's got two great friends with him here in Charles and Sadie who are looking out for him. That's unfortunately just the nature of it. But we got tipped off there. I pulled the handle just enough to scare Cleet into giving us that information, and then I pulled the handle the rest of the way to hang him. We've witnessed hanging in towns before. We've never actually participated in one like that. Like I said, some things just have to be done. Very fitting that the games start up on the Grizzly Mountains and also finish up on the Grizzly Mountains. You can tell, obviously, it's quite a journey. We've been up to the Grizzlies a few times, and it always takes
we all ready?
A couple days.
This pass will take us up into the high mountains.
Lead the way.
There's an old watchtower up there they might be using for a camp.
There must be a sniper. Get in cover, quick!
You alive, Charles?
John, be careful! Where is this bastard? Stay low! We gotta get closer to him! We'll move up, rock by rock, when we get the chance. Short runs. A bit of ground every time. Okay? Hello! Now, moving up!
I got the high ground over here.
Stay down!
Pain and some jerky. You can try by all means, but you ain't getting up this path.
There! I'm making a run!
You're persistent, all right. Guess you ain't care about
Faster!
Okay, moving! You can hit him from here, can't you? Take the shot!
Bastard was just a little bit too far.
You son of a bitch! I'm gonna shoot you! That rock!
Yes.
Okay, let's go back to Charles.
Yeah, Charles got shot in all of that. Holy crap. Oh, man.
You're okay. You're okay.
I will be. Go on. Go on now. Move fast. They'll come down that hill and kill us all.
Come on, John.
I don't want to leave him.
Hey, they know we're coming now. I will be fine. I'll follow you up. I just can't move fast.
Okay.
Come on, John.
Shit. Okay, come on!
You pathetic bastards! Yep, there's more!
There's a camp there!
It's not big enough. Knock around with 10, 20 guys. Keep climbing till we find that tower Charles talked about.
Okay, if you're riding with well, you're a fool! Ah!
I'm at it. Hair's getting thin. Let's do this.
This is one of the harshest environments, and I guess one of the most fitting as a result. The terrain is very unforgiving. You can see how deep the snow is. There's a lot of like inclines, steep inclines, obviously being a mountain, so it's a very, very tough area to traverse. We've been through here on horseback and stuff before too. We know how hard it is up here in Grizzlies territory, and of course you can see how many men there are. Damn, who knew that this many people would be working with a puke like Micah? I guess outlaws and gangs and bad people still are very prevalent during this time. We've already taken out quite a few, though, so Sadie says he wouldn't be here with these tents. We should continue to keep going up the mountain a little further and look for the tower that Charles mentioned. I imagine going through the snow like this probably takes a toll on your stamina. It's a hell of a climb, especially when you're being shot at too.
Get your hands off her!
Oh my god, no way. Sadie, no way. Oh my god.
You alright?
Just fine.
You don't look
Oh
too fine.
no.
Come on.
You're bleeding pretty bad.
Ain't nothing.
You should sit down.
I'm fine.
You're dying.
I'll be fine.
Just sit. It's okay.
I ain't dying. I ain't.
I hope not.
I ain't dying. Just go get him. I'll be fine. I just need to rest.
Okay. Charles, stay with her.
Charles, you worry about yourself. I'll be up there
Look who it is.
in a minute.
Ain't you got a habit of just showing up?
But I got something to take care of, sure.
Just you left, is it?
Yeah. Just me. That was Joe! We gotta be close! Your fools are worse!
Okay, I need to take a quick health cure before we go a whole lot further here. I really badly need some Deadeye here too, though. I was trying to... Sorry, my sound is a little loud there. I was trying to Deadeye Joe and those two guys there, and do a quick, like a really quick draw. But I had no Deadeye left, so that kind of screwed me there. We've got some potent snake oil. We'll drink some of that for the Deadeye. That'll help us going forward. We should be okay now.
I'm just here for Micah Bell.
Joe must have been one of... Oh man, I could see that coming. I emptied my gun shooting at Joe and his two henchmen, and didn't realize that my revolvers were in need of an ammo refill so badly. We'll try that again real quick here. We're not far away now. These are all Micah's little crooks.
Look who it is. Ain't you got a habit of just showing up?
Let's do the Deadeye stuff beforehand here.
Right. But I got something to take care of, sure.
Just you left, is it?
Yeah. Just me. I was kind of hoping I could kill you.
Likewise.
That was Joe! We gotta be close! Your fools are worse!
There we go, much better. And now we're fully reloaded too.
It's John Marston, Micah! Micah Bell! I'm just here for Micah Bell! Where's Micah?
You better not disappoint me, fella.
I'm here for you!
sir. Alright, I didn't see that guy come up from behind me there who tackled me, but we seem okay. We're okay for health. That Deadeye, that snake oil lasted us, gave me all the Deadeye I needed to take out this crew of guys. It's so unforgiving up here on the Grizzlies, though. Oh, man. It's a great place for Micah to hide out, that's for sure. Saunter our way towards Micah. Can't wait to see his ugly mug and put a freaking bullet right through it. This is what I have wanted more than anything in the epilogue, no doubt. God, they are everywhere. Holy moly. Talk about a shooting gallery. Alright, so far my Litchfields and my two favorite collectible revolvers have done me well with Otis Miller and Callaway's. As I get higher up though here, I still need to monitor my Deadeye and my health almost more than anything. Well, let's do a potent health cure for now because I got a couple of them. And that'll fortify my cores a little bit as well, which is important when you're in a sequence of events like this. And we still have potent snake oil. We'll do some more for some more Deadeye. Sadie and Charles can just follow the trail of snake oil and health cure bottles up the mountain to find out where I went.
Micah! Shit! Micah!
So we got a few different markers here on our mini-map, yellow markers. So it looks like we're going to have to try different places until we locate Micah. God damn. Man, to think these men were actually living up here. Talk about... I mean, I'm complaining about having to just traverse through this treacherous terrain. Imagine living up here on the mountains. What an awful place to live. Less thriving and more just surviving, but I guess when you're a puke like Micah, you gotta stay away from populated places. So I think sort of there's little camps spread out across the top of the mountain, little areas. One by one, we just have to try and clear them all out until we get a positive ID on Micah. Oh shoot. Sliding down the mountain, what else is new? I don't see Micah up here. At least we're on higher ground now.
Micah, you over there?
You'll never get out alive!
All right, as far as I can tell, this is it. This is the final marker on my map, the final area Micah could be. And Charles mentioned that you know, he may be in like a watchtower up here.
Hey, Micah!
So this is the closest thing to me.
If you're here, come out!
Hello, Scarface. Did you miss me?
Not much.
Been a few years. How's that, whore of yours?
She's good. Didn't reckon I should waste my time killing you. But I felt different.
So it seems. Well, maybe after all this is over, I'll go pay her a call. And the boy.
Whatever you say.
I got more men coming, John! You should run away!
I look forward to meeting them!
Run while you can, John! It's your only hope!
I'm just...
So close! I'll make you rich! Real rich! I got all the Scarface! You gotta be quick! It's just here! Come take a look!
Come on now, Micah! At least die like a man!
Hellfire! It's just like old times.
Come on! You turn around and start walking!
You got me! Just like old times, All manner of folk paying social calls.
Hello, son.
Oh my god, no way.
It's been quite a while.
Now, John. Now, what were you saying? Dutch and I are teaming up once more. We got money. We got dreams. Join us, John. Join us.
Let her go.
Now, I can't do that, John.
Dutch. Dutch, come on now.
You shot at me, son.
Really?
You
I shot at you?
You betrayed me.
No, you betrayed us.
Stay the same as you.
Exactly.
I was trying to do my best. You just cared for yourself.
That's not true.
I think differently.
Yeah, that's so hypocritical.
Join us, John.
Let her go! She ain't well.
I don't want to kill you, John.
Arthur saved my life. More than once.
Arthur's been dead a long time. This is a new century.
Dutch. Dutch. We all did our best for you. Ain't our fault. Things turned out the way they did. Dutch, killing me won't solve nothing.
Put down your gun, Marston!
Say something, Dutch. Say something!
I ain't got too much to say no more.
I'm trying to appeal to Dutch here. Yes! That's exactly what I wanted to do, to appeal to Dutch.
You shot me. You shot me pretty good.
Thank you. You okay?
Fine.
You're crazy.
I hope so. Help me up.
Let's go get Charles.
There's money. Lots of money. In the cabin. It's Blackwater.
I'll go see.
Hurry up. I got a wedding I want to go to.
Jack, Uncle, come out here!
It's over, Abigail. It's all over.
And now she's all laughs, giggles, and smiles, so...
I'm going to where the sun burns and the heat stays in command. Come and lay by my side, right here, to where the river turns to dust and God is never rushed. Come and lay by my side, right here. Red, I love you and the world. It's seemed to make sense when Brother Santo said, oh, one more run be enough. Gonna be enough. Money for everything, silver-toed boots and kerosene. Come and lay by my side right here. Red, I love you in the world. Oh, the buzzing thing.
So these scenes that they're showing are from John Marston's wedding. Just want to make sure nothing plays out here. Don't want to miss anything.
Red, I need you in the world. When I see you behind the glass, I forget that I'm in the cage. They bring me to Sunday Mass, but it never wiped the rage. Red, I love you in the world. 7 months gone and 7 years to go, Reg. I can't stay no more. Come and lay by my side right here. Red, I love you in the world. Red, I need you in the world.
I go on. Cruel, cruel world, I'm moving on. I've been living too fast, I've been living too wrong. Cruel, cruel world, I'm gone. This big old world sure got me running round. Heard a voice, it told me settle down. With the moonlight as my guide and this feeling deep inside, I know now that I'm homeward bound. As I wander through the pines,
And he lived happily ever after. If only I could finish our set of 94 streams by saying just that, although we know how the first Red Dead Redemption plays out. That was definitely a twist there for me at the end. I didn't expect Charles or Sadie to sustain the injuries that they did. Now you know why Abigail did not want me to go. She knows just how dangerous they can be. This is not like going after a regular bounty. A lot of regular bounties that we tackle are not nearly as dangerous as Micah and Dutch. But what a turn of events at the end there to see Dutch shoot Micah. I don't want to say I'm surprised. It looks like... Oh, there's the officers, obviously responding to the massacre that we caused on the mountain. Looks like he's been dead for a while. I think Dutch had a better relationship with John Marston than what he had with Micah, so when it came down to it, he would rather just put Mike out of his misery. I also think Dutch knew that John and Sadie and the rest of these cast of characters would not stop in their quest to get revenge until, it played out that particular way. I think he knew that, so he got the first shot in there, and then as John Marston, I was able to headshot Micah.
I felt trust. I knew then that I must go to her, away from this cruel world. Cruel, cruel world, must I go on?
Just wanted to turn down the game audio a little bit here too, so hopefully it's a little bit easier to hear me over the music. I imagine the credits are going to be quite long. I feel like that was almost Dutch owing us a favor for everything that happened. We appealed to his soft spot, I think, and we were able to get to him. You can see, looks like Charles is saying his goodbyes at the ranch and going his own way. Great music choice here to conclude the game. That's funny because it almost mirrored the sequence of events with how everything played out with Arthur, except Arthur was not able to kill Micah. We were actually able to kill Micah in the end. Both Arthur and John confronted Micah on a mountainside like that. You know, following really bloody battles. So very similar to how things played out with Arthur, except Arthur was in bad health and succumbed to his illness. Unfortunately, it held him back in his final fight against Micah. But John was able to see things through. And, you know, I said with Abigail at the end, she's all laughs, smiles, and giggles now. But it would be a relief to her, a huge relief. And to know that John's not going to be so obsessed with getting revenge now. I think everybody's resting peacefully here. You know, I think at the end of the day, it's not the worst way for things to play out. Nobody died except for Micah, so for me, that's a best case scenario. It sucks that Dutch just kind of walked off there. But we tackle that in another game. It's a very kind of peaceful note to end Red Dead 2 off. If there was a way to end Red Dead 2, I actually really like how that played out, because it is kind of a happy ending. It was very somber, very sad for things to play out the way that they did with Arthur. So to flip the script a little bit and to have more of a positive ending to conclude the epilogue, really, really cool, I think. At the end of the day, John Marston just wanted to live a happy life with Abigail and Jack, and that's all Arthur Morgan wanted for him as well. You know, there are a number of things that John had to do to get Abigail and Jack back into his life. He did those things, but that checklist was not fully complete until we did that right there. I've said before, Abigail just needs to learn that this is who John Marston is as a character. This is him at his most basic unit. I think, you know, he's done a fantastic job of getting himself out of that outlaw lifestyle, but, you know, things with Micah and Dutch are extremely personal. And then any other time we've been, you know, shooting people on the side, it's really only been for like bounty missions and stuff like that, and those are all legal means of revenue streams. So I think we've come a long way with John, much like we've come a long way with Arthur. I think who Arthur was when he started the game compared to who he was at the end of the game, and who John was at the start of the epilogue compared to who he was at the end of the epilogue. Two completely different people for both Arthur and for John. I think their morals and values have changed a lot. We watched them kind of morph and evolve throughout the entire game. We saw perspectives change. I didn't really honestly see Dutch coming up big there at the end. I thought Dutch was long gone, especially not associating with Micah still after all these years. I should have known that Dutch was probably involved too, because Micah wouldn't be smart enough to be seeing all these plans out. So these are the officers that came across the scene with Micah up on the mountain, and looks like they're investigating. That looked like the saloon in Valentine. Interested to see how this scene here at the end plays out. Eventually, it should just leave me in free roam in the world, One benefit I think now is we finally get access to a lot of cash. I think we get $20,000 for finishing the game here when we go back into free roam. So. Yeah, a lot of the scenes to start there was John celebrating his marriage with Charles and Uncle and the fam jam. But now it's showing some other stuff, so we'll see how things play out here. Now we're in Saint Denis. No mistaking it. That's Tilly. Okay, we actually missed her in the park, so you can see her there when we tried to go revisit her. So you can see her there with her hubby and her child, which is pretty cool. Getting some closure there, that she's still doing all right. So the people that those officers were interviewing in Valentine there must have some relation to us as well. That's probably why they were questioning them. Look how many people are involved. Kudos to Rockstar. What an experience from beginning to end. My head is still spinning. When Dutch came walking out that door, my mind was blown. I honest to God did not expect to see Dutch in the end. I didn't know how it would play out. I thought, you know, if Dutch was there with Micah, wouldn't John want to shoot Dutch too? But it's cool how Dutch kind of shoots Micah, and then John and Dutch just kind of have the mutual respect for each other to just say, you know what, we're even now, kind of see you in another life. And John does indeed see Dutch in another life. But again, we'll save that for another game. But it's cool how they kind of had that mutual kind of respect for each other. And I'm pretty sure a few years go by between the end of this game and the beginning of Red Dead 2, so we know that Abigail and John have peace for at least a couple years afterwards, before John starts to get stir crazy and go after Dutch again. And then I thought, no way. I mentioned before, how awful would it be for like Sadie or like Charles to end up dying at the end of the game, and then Charles gets shot by one of Micah's henchmen, and then Sadie gets stabbed, and geez, then she still comes to my rescue and gets Micah at gunpoint there. She is the biggest badass. There's Pearson's little update. He's still working at the convenience store, the general store out of Rhodes. He sees a picture of him and the gang. It's got to be weird for a lot of these people, for Tilly and Pearson and for John as well. Like, this was their lives. This was their livelihoods, being together in this gang for so long. And now, you know, they just have to disband and try and lead normal lives. But it's really not that easy. Assimilating back into normal society is hard when you're a criminal. It's like people coming out of jail. It's the same thing. Kind of assimilating back into society is not an easy thing. I just want to kind of try and get to a point here where we can save and see our final completion for this game as well. I actually didn't expect those last couple missions to take as long as they did, but you always got to give yourself. I knew I had to give myself a little extra time because I knew some craziness was going to go down for faux show. It's Red Dead 2. It's not. Maybe that was Mrs. Downs. That might have been Miss Downs and her son. Names and faces, 100% not my forte, especially when I haven't dealt with them in 20 parts. If there was one issue with my stream, it was definitely consistency and ability to recall events that have happened in the past. If there's one thing I want to do going forward with streams, it's definitely being a little bit more informed at times when it comes to the content, for sure. We'll have more great streams coming up. If you're watching this a year or two after I actually uploaded it, there's probably already all kinds of new series to choose from. But going forward from this point, I have lots of indie titles and other open world games. Everything from, like we've talked about with The Amazing Spider-Man and Fallout 4, so lots of great titles coming up. Definitely stay tuned for that. Make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already, and comment. We'll keep the conversation going below. My premiere video for Red Dead had 28 views. My goal is to get this finale past 28 views as a new high in views for a single video for me. Let's make that happen. So now we've seen Sadie kind of depart as well. She's probably in better health now after sustaining the stab wound coming after Micah. I do wish that these credits were a little bit quicker. I'm not trying to nitpick the game here. I'm not trying to do a full-scale review of the credits, but my god, these are slow. What kind of a 200-hour game would not have 20 minutes of credits? It's not a 200-hour open world game if it doesn't. It's not a Ubisoft game if it doesn't. If it doesn't have at least 20-minute credits. So again, running through some old environments that we're used to: Van Horn, the trading post, big shipping town, and now Annesburg. We kind of worked our way around the map through Strawberry and Rhodes, down through the south through Saint-Denis, and now back up north, like I said, through Van Horn and Annesburg. These truly are the final times that we may see some of these places, and we spent a lot of time in some of these places. If you shed a tear at the conclusion here, it is a well-deserved tear shed. So that was an interesting scene there as well. That was Mary Linton visiting Arthur Morgan's gravesite, a gravesite that we are familiar with. We visited that when we covered our graves and went and saw all the graves across the land. Mary Linton had a great and very close relationship with Arthur Morgan, and he really admired Mary Linton. And now there she is mourning after him. For sure she loved him. She could say that maybe she loved him in another lifetime and that it didn't exist anymore, but that was the closest thing Arthur had to like a love relationship, to like a love lead. And every good man, every good hero, and I mean that's truly what Arthur Morgan is, and John Marston, they're both heroes in my eyes, deserve a good woman, and Mary Linton would have treated Arthur very well if he had had the chance. I tried to pursue missions with Mary Linton anytime the opportunity came up, so that Arthur would have that opportunity and that kind of exposure. Uh-oh. The detectives have finally been led back to John Marston's property regarding the Micah killing. That is not a good thing. Are they really gonna pursue John here during the credits, post credits here, and turn things sour again? Really, after a reasonably good ending, really? It can't be. It can't truly be. So I think they just have some shots of the land kind of interspersed with alternative scenes involving John and stuff here. They're kind of going back and forth between scenes of John and friends and just kind of generic places. That looked like Tumbleweed or one of the areas in New Austin there with those vultures. So it looks like things in Tumbleweed have not changed, or in that general area of New Austin. It's like a wasteland out there. The man, the myth, the legend, Rainsfall. still as humble and forgiving as ever. Now there is one of my favorite characters in the game as well. Him and his son, Eagle Flies, had a big impact on my perception on certain things in the game as well. Very eye-opening. So it looks like that's it for the scenes that are going to play out here. It looks like the rest of the credits are going to be the scrolling variety. You can see there's the cast of the game if you're most interested. There's a description of each person: Charles, an expert hunter and fighter; Hosea, a con man and thief. I like that. Look at all the actors involved in this game alone. Holy moly macaroni. A great scene to end it off on there, with Rains Falls on the mountaintop there, looking over and seeing the bird flying. Perfect kind of way to end the game. And all we saw were the investigators observing John at his ranch at Beecher's Hope. So we didn't see John arrested because of the Micah killing, or that he was involved in any sort of way that way. It's almost like kind of open-ended, but almost like the investigators are almost kind of letting it go by walking away after observing John at his ranch there with his family. So interesting, very, very interesting. But that's gonna bring it. That's gonna be it for our Red Dead 2 series. Thank you once again for being a part of this with me, and I hope that we can have a number of amazing adventures going forward in the future as well. Again, make sure to give me a like on this one for sure. More than anything, subscribe. Maybe this is the first video that you've ever watched of mine. Definitely make sure you don't want to miss any more of them. Keep that convo going below. From all of us, and by all of us I mean just me, at Sweetfish Plays. I will see you on the other side, and it'll be a brand new side too. Isn't that exciting?
John Marston. Since you bought this millstone around our necks, we better try and keep this place going.
I paid our debts with that money. I
don't want to talk about that money. And no more of that...
It's over, Abigail.
I'm sure. Then get to work on this ranch you own and raising your boy.
Yes, ma'am.
Are you being sarcastic, John Marston?
Me? Never.
Good.
Anyway, I thought you liked this place.
No, John, I don't like it. I love it. It's home.
Just note, final completion, 87.6%. Not bad, not bad. I'll take it.